Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of the Sportorium podcast. This is officially going to be the saddest episode that we've recorded so far. First time all of our teams lost. It's brutal.
Well, I'm used to it, so it's okay.
You are. So we're going to get right into it, going for the Thursday night game, the Steelers-Browns. First of all the primetime games were absolute garbage, but this was probably the best of the bunch, the Steelers-Browns game.
It was still pretty trash.
Yeah, it opened up a little bit at some points, but it was not great. So regarding the Steelers offense, I think Matt Canada needs just let him throw it deep. They started to do that a little bit, as we saw with that incredible George Pickens one-hander.
Yeah, it was better than Odell's catch.
It was not better than Odell's
catch. It was 100% better than Odell's
catch. It was
catch.
a very nice catch.
He was like
Odell's,
literally like
it was like over his shoulder.
He was literally like sideways.
Odell three-fingered that ball. That's all I want to say. And it was a PI. I think that Jacoby Brissett is serviceable. So I think they just got to run that offense through Nick Chubb and pretty much pass it to Amari Cooper.
Yeah. I'll never sit Amari Cooper again in fantasy.
Yeah. The other wide receivers like Peoples-Jones, they're all ghosts. So. I mean, Njoku actually played pretty well too.
Yeah, they were absolutely spamming Njoku half the game. It was ridiculous. But I mean, he's like the 4th highest paid tight end right now. So
yeah.
I mean, if you're paying him that type of money, he better be putting up that production. Next game we're going to get into is the very unfortunate Bills game. I'm going to talk about this. So for the Bills, it was just a lot of missed opportunities, really. So one of them was the botched spike at the end of the first half. It was a good play on Josh's part to not, because that's like a kind of a gray area. Because if it's not an immediate snap and spike, then it could be a fumble. So I understand what he was doing. Also, that also was probably a pick 6. I don't know how that didn't happen, but Xavier Howard was right there. Another thing was the blocked kick from Tyler Bass. It wasn't just a miss. It was tipped a little bit. Another thing was Gabe Davis just dropping a ball in the end zone. It was kind of an okay play by the defender there, but Gabe comes up with those like 9 times out of 10.
That's probably because like he's a little overrated. If we're going to be honest, he had like a couple really good games and everyone's like, yeah, he's wide receiver 1.
I don't think a single human being on the planet said that he is wide receiver 1.
All right, I meant to say wide receiver 2.
On the Bills, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he is.
Main thing was obviously injuries. I've never seen a team have so many injuries in my life. It was absurd. Obviously, big guys are out before the game, like Jordan Phillips, Jordan Poyer, Mike Hyde, unfortunately, out for the season. Mitch Morse wasn't playing. But there was like 8 other starters that had to be taken out from like heat exhaustion stuff. But I think one positive is the Bills running backs all looked really good at certain points, except they can't run the ball. I'm pretty sure the Bills, I forgot what like metric I saw. They have the worst run blocking O-line in the league right now. Very unfortunate.
I didn't understand the whole heat exhaustion thing.
They were in the sun the whole entire time.
Yeah, but they play like every early season game in Miami's like that.
Yeah, I don't know how that was.
That's what I was like. I'm not like knocking the players for like dying from heat exhaustion, but
wasn't the Bills on the field like double the amount?
I guess that
that makes the Bills offense had 93
minutes,
offensive plays. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the time of possession was like
it was like 40 to like 19. I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I guess that makes a difference too. But like every early season Miami games played in like blazing heat like that.
Yeah.
So clearly they weren't doing something right.
Yeah, I saw that the Packers, in order to prep for the Bucs game, they like ramped up the heat in the Packers facility throughout the whole entire week. So hey, maybe that's coaching. But it was just an absolutely weird game. I'm not impressed by the Dolphins. They didn't do anything special.
No, they
aired it out one time.
They did one thing special. You want to know what that was? What? No, not the blocked punt. Saying Tua doesn't have a concussion after he smacked his head off the ground.
How do you say that that's a back injury? You literally, this guy gets up and goes, whew. You could see him wobbling. It looked like Mahomes when he almost died that one.
There was clearly something special about that going on because he was very clearly concussed.
So all in all, very disappointing day for the Bills. I'm not impressed by the Dolphins. Dolphins are not a better team. A game we'll talk about later is Colts and Chiefs. Nobody's saying that the Colts are better than the Chiefs. So Winning that game against the Bills does not mean that team is better. It just means they had.
All I'm gonna
50%
say
lucky
about
day.
this game is the Bills, they beat themselves.
Yes, it was the
And,
Bills that beat themselves.
And like I said, I don't look at it. The Dolphins didn't beat the Bills; they just escaped the Bills. That's really what happened.
Well said.
That was very well said, Tyler.
It's not like whatever, the Dolphins. They won, but did they really win? No.
Okay, Shakespeare.
Yeah, I think. I mean, when you say did they really win? Like, yeah, they did.
They did really win, but
They
it was
really
not
did,
impressive.
but
really won.
If you look on paper, the Bills, it looks like they really won.
If you look on paper, it looks like it says the Dolphins scored more points and they won.
If you're looking at just like offensive stats, offensive time of possession, everything like that,
yes,
that should not have been a close game. But missed opportunities by the Bills.
It happens.
Ultimately led to their downfall. It happens. Next game we're going into is Eagles Commanders. Eagles are legit.
Commanders are trash.
No, Eagles are legit. I've seen it's either AJ Brown does well or Devontae Smith does well. It's
Are you ready to call Jalen Hurts an MVP candidate yet?
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. He's still not an MVP candidate. He's doing great. I think that he's probably a top 10-ish quarterback. I'm a Hurts believer now, but he does not have the stats to be an MVP contender in my eyes right now, especially with how Josh and Lamar have been doing. That being said, I do believe the Eagles are a Super Bowl contender and probably the clear-cut number one team in the NFC right now.
I mean, they've played 3 bad teams, though.
not the Vikings.
I mean, they're not great.
Their Vikings aren't great.
But
I understand that the level of competition wasn't great for them, but just the way that they've kind of been dominant when they've looked good. I mean, they almost choked against the Lions, but that D-line, that just defense in general is pretty good. We could see how great that offense could be.
I'd like to see them play a good team and see what happens.
They don't even really play like any good teams.
The fact that their schedule is that easy is why I think they're probably going to be a 1 seed.
And with the Bucks kind of starting off slow because of injuries and stuff.
Pretty much
the Niners. I don't see the Niners doing too great where they'd be the 1 seed.
Yeah. Rams look slow. Packers look slow. And there's really not a clear-cut top dog in the NFC right now other than the Eagles.
We'll
weird
see.
To say, but we will see. Regarding the Commanders, Carson Wentz, they should just bench him for the first half in every game. Every single game so far. First half, terrible. Second half, pretty good QB.
Yeah, but by the time the second half came around, they were basically getting blown out.
Yes, definitely. And in that game. But all the other ones,
who cares? We know Carson Wentz is bad.
He is bad. He also got sacked 9 times, which is crazy.
Yeah,
but that's also on him.
Yeah, some of them you could see that he just goes into the defender, trying to roll out of the pocket to the left when there's people to the left and nobody to the right. There's one play where I saw where there's a gaping hole. It looks like Moses parted the Red Sea in front of him, and he escapes to the left and gets sacked.
Yeah, it's just he has negative IQ.
Yeah, he's no awareness either.
Literally.
Yeah,
it's bad.
I thought he would show up a little more, especially against one of his former teams.
Yeah, it was a revenge game. And
the team that
no revenge games this year have gone well.
No, not a single one so far. Next game we're getting into is the Pats and the Ravens. Go ahead, Rupp.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm good.
Okay, well I will. Pats, a lot of turnovers.
I don't want to hear you talk about it. Actually.
Well, we're going to talk about it anyway.
I'll talk.
We're also going to talk about Mac just throwing it into double, triple coverage. Sometimes for no reason.
Every time for no reason. Actually.
Every time for no reason. He's like, hey, Devontae Parker, you're going to jump balls, right? Oh, you're just not going to go for the ball. That's fine.
Yeah, that actually does happen multiple times.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a lack of effort on Devontae Parker's part.
I mean, I think it's got to be to a certain point, but he also had 5 catches for 150 yards.
He did have a good game.
So it's hard to tell, but there's 4 of his interceptions this year have come when looking at Devontae Parker. And most of them, it's he's just not really looking like he's giving a good effort on it. But
either way,
know.
Mac is definitely forcing the ball to Devontae.
Yeah, he's 100% forcing the ball to him. They also aren't playing Kendrick Bourne.
Again,
Jacoby Myers was out. So what they decided to do in his place was just put nobody on the field. They put Lil Jordan Humphrey on the field for 50 snaps, and he didn't even get a target. So I don't know the point of that. Kendrick Bourne plays 10 snaps and is second in the team in receiving yards again. Every week so far. So I don't understand that. Running backs still look good. Tight ends, non-existent. but that's not really their fault. They're just not being put on routes. They're just blocking the whole game
at all. Like Hunter Henry was one of the best red zone targets in the league last year.
He doesn't run routes in the red zone. He blocks. He actually just blocks. Jonnu Smith, I don't even know what that guy does on the field.
He made a big play one. It was like a 4th down or something.
Yeah, but it was like that was all Max scrambling in the pocket.
Yeah.
And he's just wide open. And then
Mac was like running a lot.
Yeah, he was.
I've never seen him do that.
He ran so many times. He also definitely 100% had, I would say, besides the interceptions, which were just stupid, had probably one of his best games throwing downfield. But then he would get down there, he would just make a stupid throw and get picked off. But
yeah, I think that's partly just on the Ravens defense just missing at times, which we've seen in every single game.
No, he was like
played.
on Devontae Parker's big plays. He was making nice throws down the field. A lot of his interceptions, like he has 5. I don't really think you could blame them all on him. Like they're not great throws, but they should at least be a receiver making a play on it where if it's not caught, it's at least not picked off.
Some of them are just absolute brain dead throws.
Yeah. Well, the Ravens had a bounce back game for them.
I mean, the game was close for most of the game. Patriots defense looked good for a while.
And Aguilar kind of
Aguilar blew the game again. Yeah. In my opinion.
It was a very good play by Hamilton, though.
It was, but still, that's a 0 IQ to do that in the first 3 weeks, to fumble in the last 5 minutes of the game twice.
Bad.
That's bad. At what point does you put him on the bench and let Kendrick Bourne get some run?
Probably never.
Probably never.
Come on.
Now we got to watch Brian Hoyer for probably 6 to 8 weeks. Lamar went off like always.
He's playing himself to be the MVP this year.
Yeah, but
he looks great. His stats are great.
He wants that bag.
Yeah,
he does.
That's why he's playing well.
I got nothing else to say on the game.
Next game we're getting into, James, I'm sorry, but what the hell happened, man? I guess I get the cold take of the week because I said if the Colts end up winning, hell has frozen over. So
I mean, we all said the Chiefs were gonna. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure Rupp said Chiefs by 25. So
I probably did.
Because I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Yeah, I mean, there's just errors all around. I mean, the defense played very well again. They started the game backed up on their own 7 because Sky Moore,
yeah,
it's the worst punt returner. I like him too. I like to see them actually use him on offense and not punt returning. He doesn't look comfortable there at all. And if you're not going to use Mecole Hardman on offense, why not just have him return? It makes no sense.
Wasn't he doing that for 3 years?
Yeah, pretty much. Or Pacheco even. It just somebody that
especially after this week, they have to make a change there.
And Amendola is the worst kicker in the league.
He's gone, although you don't got to worry about him anymore.
I never want to see him on a team ever again.
He'll get another opportunity somewhere.
I hope not, because he is god awful. Like you were saying, I think that the Chiefs defense was definitely a positive in that game. Jonathan Taylor didn't have a great game. It was solid, but that wasn't the reason that the Colts won. But they let Matt Ryan win the game.
Yeah, it was a weird game.
And Chris Jones got a penalty for talking to somebody pretty much. You don't call that in the fourth quarter of a game with 4 minutes left. I'm sorry.
If that was a quarterback that was talking.
If Tom Brady got up and talked in someone's face, they're not calling that. I'm sorry, but just true. And it was going to be a 4th and 17, and then it's a first.
The game would have been over.
And
next game we're getting into is Bengals and Jets. Go ahead, Tyler. Since you had the Jets last week, win the game.
Joe Flacco looked like week 1 again. Looked horrible. Once Garrett Wilson got injured for a little bit, it was bad. He was just flying the ball down the field like the Braxton Berrios, who in triple coverage, who you think's gonna come down with the ball. No, he's 5'8". Come on, Joe Flacco. The defensive line, they had to show up this game. This was their time because of the Bengals offensive line. They didn't do anything. Really didn't. And they had opportunities to get to Joe Burrow, and they didn't. They let him scramble out and make a play.
Quinnen Williams is too busy fighting one of his coaches on the sideline.
They made up.
When Quinnen Williams starts screaming, it looks so weird.
Yeah.
He's such a baby face.
But at least we held Jamar Chase pretty well, so I'll say that.
Sauce looked really good on Jamar. That really one
Yeah, he
big
got in his
pass
head.
breakup. Yeah, Jamar was also being a little bit of a baby.
I mean, Jamar had a touchdown, but that was just really bad miscommunication on the.
There was just no one covering him.
Yeah, I just think in the red zone they should have just had Sauce on Jamar, just 1-on-1, just let it.
They
be.
don't want to give up a touch. They don't want Sauce to give up a touchdown. They won't do that.
Yeah, but
I swear that Samaje Perine touchdown was on him though.
I don't think it was. I think Sauce was kind of just there.
I'll consider that his first touchdown led up to a backup running back.
T. Higgins he got robbed one. That was close. It was hard.
That was
to
a
tell.
touchdown.
T. Higgins was also assaulted. That should have been attempted murder.
He also had a concussion and came back to the game.
Oh,
Yes.
LaMarcus Joyner.
100%.
Yeah, Lamarcus Joyner literally dove at the man's face,
There's no doubt in my mind you take that hit, you have a concussion.
especially after already having a concussion.
Yeah, you're not. That's not a concussion.
Concussion
Yeah, it
protocol
was a bad
fake.
hit.
It was really bad.
I don't think
also,
he really meant it though. I think it was just he was falling and he was just trying to hit him low.
Yeah, well, he hit him high, so
Yeah.
not
Well, he
ideal.
was falling and he hit him high.
I also think that once again, you can't have Joe Flacco throwing 52 passes in a game. I don't care if you're down by 1 million. Get the ball out of that guy's hands.
And it's really weird with like the Jets how they even if they they'll have one quarter Michael Carter will play, and then the next quarter Breece Hall's playing, and then they'll go to Michael Carter, and then they'll go back to Breece Hall. It's weird.
If they were going to do that and actually consistently hand the ball off or get them the ball, then sure. But they just abandoned the run game and let Joe Flacco take over the game by throwing 2 picks.
That's why I'm really hoping, and it's a good possibility Zach Wilson comes back. I really hope.
I'm
Joe
excited to see that offense with him.
I'm really tired of seeing Joe Flacco play.
This is why I love Jets fans. Last week, Joe Flacco was the savior. He was MVP contender. Now, get Joe Flacco off the field. This guy sucks. Start Mike White. I hate Jets fans, by the way. That was
Mike White probably should have started from the first place.
Mike White he should have started, and he should have been put in that game at halftime. I don't care what you said. This kid beat the Bengals last year. At least he doesn't throw the ball down the field in triple coverage.
Joe Flacco did beat the Bengals for 10 years though.
That's true.
Joe Flacco's 37. And his brain's like a grandpa. He has. I don't know what he was doing, and he throws the ball down the field, and he completely misses them. He'll either just chuck it out of bounds, and it's so bad.
Nobody accused him of being a good quarterback.
Yeah,
you shouldn't be surprised.
I just want Zach Wilson back. All right.
I would also like to add that the Jets made Tyler Boyd look like Deebo Samuel on that one touchdown.
Terrible tackling.
Oh my gosh.
They're just slapping him.
I don't know what we signed this guy Whitehead from the Bucs. You think he would do something?
Next game we're getting into is the Titans and Raiders. Me and James, we knew it was going to happen. Derrick Henry had a great game. Titans looked really good in the beginning, but they let their foot off the gas, and Raiders almost came back, but the Raiders just bad, so they couldn't.
Yeah, I didn't think the Raiders were going to be trash. That's why I picked them.
Yeah, but apparently they're very trash.
I have a new panic button of the week, and that's the Raiders.
They also need to throw the ball to Devontae Adams instead of Mac Hollins.
Why? What's wrong with that? Mac Hollins looked really good.
What's wrong with that is the record's 0-3. Next game we're talking about, Saints and Panthers. Both teams are just not good at all.
Yeah, I don't think we need to talk about this one very much. That game was maybe shown on Red Zone 2 times.
And one of them was Alvin Kamara fumbling.
And another one was Laviska Shenault's 80-yard touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with Kamara.
They need to feed him the ball a lot more than what they have been, because he is that guy. You just got to get him the ball.
He's getting more
100%.
passes.
Maybe on Christmas.
Yeah, but Jameis Winston's not a dump it off to the running back kind of
maybe
QB.
he should be.
Maybe he should be, because
he probably should be, but he hasn't been for 5 years.
Yeah.
When he stepped in for Drew Brees, and he was pretty much just running the Drew Brees offense, but then throwing it down the field a little bit more than him, it was great. But now you're trying to take that whole underneath game away. Alvin Kamara only had 2 catches for 12 yards last game. He should be, especially Michael Thomas being hurt, because he was hurt at one point.
Jarvis was hurt too.
And Jarvis was hurt. That's when you just got to start feeding Alvin Kamara. Olave had a great game, though. I'll say that. Baker is still trash.
He needs to dump it off to McCaffrey more too.
Yeah, that's also they're not running that Like he had a
McCaffrey's
great game running the
well,
ball. Yeah,
but he's not
100%.
he's not catching passes at all.
No, once again, only 2 catches.
Yeah.
7 yards. Next game we're getting into is the Lions and Vikings. Lions choked, man. It's unfortunate. They looked really good. They held Justin Jefferson to. He didn't have a good game.
Nah, 2 weeks in a row, yeah. But I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, they choked, but like they were supposed to lose anyway. You kind of want to see them look respectable. They look respectable.
Yeah, part of that was also DeAndre Swift getting hurt.
I mean, Jamal Williams looked really good though.
He did. Yeah, Jamal Williams definitely had a good game. 2 touchdowns, 87 yards. Also relevant in the passing game as well. But Vikings offense, it looked good without Justin Jefferson doing much. Irv Smith is terrible. Game.
It's because it's not a prime time game. That's why.
True. KJ Osborne looked really good. Dalvin Cook's shoulder popped out again, like usual.
He had like almost 100 yards before he went out, though.
Yeah, he had 96. And Madison is a very serviceable backup. So that's not the juice of their offense. So I think they'll probably be fine.
Yeah.
Just try to hopefully get Justin Jefferson the ball more. Because only having 14 yards on 3 catches, it's a little weird. They ended up winning the game, but 2 weeks in a row where he didn't really do much, it's kind of concerning. Next game we're going to talk about is the Bears and Texans. Another just disgusting game. I didn't want to watch it. I was forced to.
That's every Bears game, though.
Pretty much.
And Texans.
Both of them just did not look great. The Bears just need to hand the ball off literally every play or have Justin Fields run it. I do not want to see Justin Fields attempt a pass ever again. He's not good at playing quarterback.
Yeah, they should just
simple.
Everyone should just blitz him every play.
I mean, he also probably has the worst receiving core in the league by far.
Byron Pringle's tough. He's hurt now, though.
Yeah, that receiving core is pretty bad. Cole Kmet finally got a catch on the year.
There's actually but Darnell Mooney,
he doesn't even get the ball.
Doesn't get the ball. Who else
he had 2 catches last game. Well, that's also when your quarterback is throwing 17 passes and only
but he's probably
8.
Throwing 17 passes because he has actual
can't throw.
I mean, maybe, but
yeah, he's simply.
Still, you have to try to throw the ball more.
Yeah, but they probably realize these guys can't catch a football. We're not throwing to them.
Or this quarterback can't get them the football. So
it could be.
But
both.
I think honestly, it's working. They can 100% have the best rushing offense in the league, though. They have 2 really good running backs.
They're playing terrible teams.
Well, yes, 100%. But David Montgomery, obviously very good. Khalil Herbert, we saw.
Yeah,
Herbert had a fantastic game.
Didn't David Montgomery get hurt though?
Yeah,
he did.
I think he hurt his ankle.
Yeah, and then Khalil Herbert came in and ran for 157 yards.
He just went off.
Yeah.
Granted, it's against the Texans, but he did look good. And plus, you have a very good rushing quarterback. I would be fine if they literally don't pass the ball and they run every play and they could still get it done.
Not against a good team.
I mean, they're not going to win against a good team either way.
No.
They're not good. Their defense looked like solid, but once again, it's the Texans. And I'm actually disappointed in the Texans. I thought that they were going to be like, okay, but Davis Mills hasn't looked great. The defense has been pretty terrible. There's some bright spots. Like Stingley looks really good.
Stingley's good. That's like really about it.
Yeah, I thought Davis Mills was a pretty impressive rookie last year, but he has just not looked too good on the season so far. Very disappointing. Free Brandon Cooks. Next game we're talking about is the Rams and Cards game. I don't really have much to say about this game.
That was another just bad game.
Literally don't have anything to say.
Yeah, I don't either.
That was another game that was never on red zone because nothing happened. Cooper Kupp ran for a touchdown and they just like barely scored again.
Yeah. Marquise Brown had a good game. I didn't even know this. He had 14 catches.
Yeah, for like 100 yards. Yeah.
For how many yards?
140.
Oh.
Yeah, Kyler Murray had 314 yards. No touchdowns, no picks. They didn't really run the ball well. James Conner was averaging 3 yards a carry. Weird game. I guess the defense, both defenses looked okay. But, yeah, not much to say. Both teams did not look great. The Rams.
Neither team's really looked good yet.
Cardinals looked okay last week just from that weird comeback, but not impressed by either of them at all. Next game, we're going to talk about the Jags and Chargers game. Jags have a pretty good offense.
Looks
I think
pretty
good. That's their division right now. No other team has really looked great.
And I just feel like no one's giving them, like, I feel like they're not getting the credit they deserve. Like,
yeah,
they're playing.
I mean, it's because they're the Jaguars.
Yeah, but they're playing like they're like a scary team, I think.
It's a bit of a hot take.
I think they're a scary team.
I think they're going to make the playoffs just because they're going to win their division, but I don't think they're going to do much.
I don't think they're going to win their division.
Yeah, I don't even know if that. It's just like early to tell.
Colts and Titans started off slow, but they're both better teams than the Jags are.
I don't know. The Jags defenses look pretty good too. Obviously, we know the offense has some solid weapons. So one thing about this game was there was just a lot of injuries for the Chargers. Obviously, they should have pulled Herbert. There was like 4 minutes left.
Started to begin with.
He shouldn't have started. But even if, let's say he does start, okay. You're down by like 20 points in the fourth quarter with 4 minutes left. Why is he in the game? And especially Rashawn Slater is out for the year.
Bro, it's the team known for puncturing a hole in like Tyrod Taylor's lungs. What do you expect?
Yes, it's true. I just don't understand that those coaching decisions.
Do you think they care about the health of their players?
Yeah, he has an injury that won't heal unless rested. So I don't understand why he's playing.
After they went up by like 2 touchdowns, and it's like maybe even halftime, okay, that's fine. Just take him out. You've done good, Justin, but our team is just not winning today.
Or maybe just like say like before the game, like, yeah, you're not playing.
Yeah, they have injured players on snap counts all the time. Even if they wanted to just,
or they could just realize like, yeah, you're a player, I'm a coach, you're not playing.
Yeah, that's ideally what they should have done, but they ultimately didn't. Next game we're getting into the Bucs and the Packers. Another one, just it's a boring game.
As Tyler would say, it was boring.
No, that's not my boring game of the week. We all know boring.
We're getting to it.
You mean the worst football game to ever be played?
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
we'll get to it. But yeah, Bucs Packers was not fun.
No.
I think it was good though for Aaron Rodgers. He needed the win, but
he didn't even look like good, really.
But you beat a beat up Bucs team.
Yeah, there's literally no receivers. They have Rashad Perriman as wide receiver 1.
And the receivers are just fumbling the whole game. Just catching passes and losing the ball.
Yeah, they almost came back at the end.
They fumbled like the middle of a drive while they were moving down the field.
Yeah.
Like killed 2 drives. Next week,
yeah,
I think Julio might be back. They said he was a game time decision the other day. Yeah, and then Godwin, I think they said he hasn't even like practiced again.
Yeah, even just having Mike Evans there is just so much better than all of their receivers put together right now. So in that case, I would assume that they would lean on Leonard Fournette more than they have, but they haven't. Still does not have a touchdown on the year.
It's because they got in the red zone like 1 time the other day.
Their offense just in general has not looked great.
Yeah.
Defense has looked solid, but not like a unstoppable defense like they usually have been. Next game we're going to talk about is the Falcons and Seahawks. Falcons finally got Kyle Pitts involved. That's great.
Yeah, they finally didn't blow a lead.
Yeah, it's incredible. Good for them. But it was against the Seahawks, so it means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're also the Falcons. They're trash too.
They are.
So
Cordell Patterson looked
Cordell
great,
Patterson is literally him.
Too.
Drake London is very good. He didn't have that big of a game, honestly. He had 3 catches for 54 yards, but I mean, every single time he touches the ball, he
had a touchdown too.
Yeah, he did.
Kyle Pitts looked good. He was more involved at first.
Yeah, they were kind of like, oh wait, this guy should be blocking. Get him out of here. He's running routes downfield. What the hell? Yeah, had 141 rushing yards and a touchdown from 17 carries, averaging 8.3. Very impressive.
He's very good.
He is, but once again, like most of the other receiving backs, this is a wide receiver. Pass him the ball more. Get one catch.
Yeah, they actually don't throw him the ball.
It's so weird. I don't understand it. The guy is a wide receiver playing running back.
And considering you don't really have wide receivers.
And especially that you don't use Kyle Pitts as you should.
Yeah, but that would require them to be a smart organization. And they are not.
Regarding the Seahawks, just looked how I thought the Seahawks were going to look. Rashad Penny is like running all right this year. Doesn't look too great. Kenneth Walker looks pretty good. He doesn't get the ball much.
Geno Smith looks all right.
He looks okay, but I mean, he kind of just looks like Geno Smith again.
Yeah, you're not really expecting anything.
Week 1 was 100% a fluke. All right, next game. Best game of the year. Best game of maybe the past 10 years. Sunday night, Broncos and 49ers. The Punt Bowl.
Jimmy G's horrible.
So is Russell Wilson.
I'd rather watch horse racing.
I don't want to talk about that game.
Jimmy G backed up out of the back of the end zone and then threw an interception. So if he didn't, it would have been a pick 6. So he actually got bailed out.
That was just might have been the worst football game I've ever watched in my life.
I honestly think it was. It was terrible.
I think I'd rather go down to someone's high school and watch them play.
Do I need to
definitely
say
better? You need to say it, Tyler.
Boring.
Thank you. Well said. I totally agree, though. And I believe that the Broncos should be 0-3 right now. They did not deserve to win that game.
It's annoying, too.
They didn't deserve to win last week against the Texans. Russ has not looked
And
good.
Javonte Williams still isn't getting the ball enough.
Yeah, because Nathaniel Hackett should be literally not. He should just not have a job.
He shouldn't. Javonte Williams had 15 carries, averaging 3.9. Melvin Gordon had 12, averaging 2.2, and fumbled like 3 times, but only lost 1. It doesn't make sense.
The touchdown though.
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah, guess who got the goal line carry?
Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And then he also had 5 catches. Well, Javonte had 3 for 2 yards. Melvin Gordon had 5 for 29.
Not Melvin Gordon. Javonte Williams week 1 had like 11 catches.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 weeks, he's just not doing anything.
You know he could catch the ball. You know he could do anything that Melvin Gordon can, just better. They should not be splitting carries. It should be Javonte Williams is our number 1. He is our starter. When he's tired, Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
That offense should be pretty much
that would require like
Javonte.
one brain cell from the coach.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have that.
But hey, he hired a clock management guy and there were no delay of games. That's a positive.
But they used all their timeouts in like the third quarter.
Yeah. So
for no reason.
Still not great. But Cortland Sutton looked good. Jerry Jeudy has brick hands.
Jerry Jeudy's just, I don't know. I don't know what to say about him.
He's a very good route runner.
He's very good at route running, but he should just maybe like work on using his hands.
Russell Wilson thinks it's all coming together still, and I don't know.
He just hasn't looked good once.
Cortland Sutton's a dog, though.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton's really good.
Yeah, the Broncos offense just like can't score. Like their red zone like percentage is like terrible. Like forgetting.
I think it's the worst in the league.
Yeah,
it has.
Or up there.
That offense even the defense. The team just does not look good.
The defense looks fine.
The defense looks okay. Like they look pretty good.
The defense is getting like praised if you like look into like
but
like power rankings and everything. Everyone's saying their defense is like the best.
The 49ers offense looked terrible too. It wasn't like no one was doing anything. It was just like 3 and outs. The punters were like the best punters ever. They were punting it into the inside the 10 every time. So
Pat
it's like
if he was having the time of his life.
So these struggling offenses have to drive 90 yards and like they're not doing that.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos started out with like 4 3 and outs in a row.
Last game of the week, Monday night, Cowboys Giants. Cooper Rush is pretty good actually.
Zeke and Pollard both looked solid.
Pollard is better than Zeke.
Yeah,
the only time that Zeke should be on the field is like inside the 2 or when he has to pass block sometimes. Zeke is definitely a better pass blocker.
Zeke was, I'm pretty sure, averaged had good like stats.
He also did have like a 20-something yard run.
Zeke had like 75 yards or something, like 13 or 14 carries, I think.
Zeke had 73 on 15. Tony Pollard had 13 carries for 105.
Yeah, Tony Pollard's good. I like Tony
Pollard's better. He's just a more explosive running back.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's not even a debatable thing at this point. They just paid Zeke so much money that they kind of have to get him involved.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb, after 2 really big drops, James started saying that he's not that guy, and then he went off.
Yeah, he did have a good game, finally.
Yeah. 8 catches, 87 yards, and a touchdown. That touchdown grab was phenomenal.
Should have had a lot more than that, though.
Rush. He should have. He dropped one long touchdown, had another very easy catch that he just dropped. Giants offensive line looked pretty terrible.
Oh, horrible. Daniel Jones was running for his life, got hit a couple times.
Yeah, he had 79 yards rushing.
The Cowboys own the Giants. Sorry, Giants.
Saquon still looks good, though.
He does.
Yeah, Saquon is back.
And Kenny Galladay's just terrible.
He's so bad.
It's a waste of money.
Literally the worst waste of money. They're going to try to like offload his contract by eating all of it, and still nobody wants him because he's not good. He can't get open when he's somehow open from like a blown coverage or something, just drops the ball.
And now they lost Shepard.
I don't know what happened to Kenny Galladay because he was really good.
He like got the money and just like didn't care.
Yeah, there's a lot of reports of him just like not wanting to play football.
Or him just maybe he just doesn't want to play for the Giants.
I'm pretty sure when that contract happened, every single human being on the planet, except for Giants fans, were like, yeah, that's bad.
And that was
But
when he was
Giants
still
fans-
good too.
He probably-
he was
yeah.
still a good,
He
respectable.
probably
receiver.
didn't want to even play for the Giants, but they were probably like the only team actually offering him like money.
Yeah, they gave him an absolute bag.
Like I don't think anyone else was like offering him that at the time.
No.
Probably was not his first choice to go play for the Giants.
Yeah, I don't think it is for anybody.
No, the only thing I gotta say about this game, I give Cowboys credit. You know, you're going into MetLife. The Giants had a whiteout night, and
Wow, that's so
shiver me
intimidating.
yeah,
timbers.
I mean,
MetLife
like,
is like the
Stadium's
easiest
really,
stadium
really
to go
known
to-
for
to
winning
win.
over there.
yeah, it's just like, I don't know. It was a rivalry game, and they came out on top with their backup quarterback. Daniel Jones, you lost to Cooper Rush.
Daniel Jones
Daniel
should
Jones
be a
should
backup
be-
quarterback.
He didn't like look terrible, but he didn't do anything to make them win that game. He
He
didn't do
never
anything to really
does.
make them lose, except that pick by Trayvon Diggs was phenomenal. How he got his hand right under,
Yeah,
bounce on it. That was great.
nice.
But
I think the
Danny Jones-
Cowboys are still like a respectable team.
They are. Their defense is good, and their
Uh,
offense is good enough with Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I think them versus the Eagles would be like that's not just like an easy win for the Eagles. People probably think that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad week of football again.
Yeah, I agree. There was
Hopefully, one of these
some of
weeks
the
we'll
worst
start getting
matchups.
some good games,
yeah, there were
especially
obviously-
primetime games.
especially the primetime games. It's been really
Yeah,
bad.
it's
Just
been
in
The
general this
primetime games
season.
have been very bad.
Thursday should be a decent game.
It probably
Yep,
won't be.
we're gonna get into it right now.
Yeah, I
Dolphins
hope
and
it is,
Bengals.
though.
It'll probably be some like 13-10 game.
I don't think so. I just think because they both have like explosive players on offense, so I think there has to be at some point like a few touchdowns being scored.
Hopefully,
Yeah, and I think the Bengals offensively looked pretty good against the Jets.
Yeah.
With that, even that's without having Jamar Chase having a great game too. They were able to spread it around. Tyler Boyd looked good. T. Higgins made a bunch of big plays. So me and James going with the Bengals on this, partly because they're wearing the white helmets.
Yeah,
The
those
white Bengal
unis
unis are
clean.
gonna look sick. I really like those.
it's gonna look sick when they lose in them.
I wouldn't be surprised if they lost, but I'm also
I
really
don't want them
salty.
to lose. I
Yeah,
want them
well,
to
I mean,
win,
I think it's gonna be a close game, but
Yeah, I think.
but I don't think their defense is gonna hold up.
yeah, Tyreek wants all the
Tyreek is
smoke
gonna
with Eli
absolutely
Apple.
Burn Eli Apple. That is going to be disgusting.
I,
But I
just,
could
I
see this
don't.
going either
Who do
way.
they have to cover Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill?
Eli Apple.
Yeah, this could be. I hope it's a good game. It could go either way, but we'll see. Next game we're getting into is the 9:30 on Sunday game in London, Vikings and Saints. We all have the Vikings. The Saints have looked garbage. Vikings at least have like a pretty good offense that I think could actually just win that game. I don't think
Yeah.
Saints could compete.
Yeah, I mean,
really.
I think Jefferson's gonna have, because he's been quiet the last 2 weeks. I think he's gonna come out. And
I'm
play.
not going to say anything about Jefferson because last week I said
Yeah,
he
I
was going to burn Jeff
Yeah, I
Okuda. and
said
he got
that
locked
too,
up by him. So
Yeah.
but
I'll just keep
I'd
my
be
mouth shut.
surprised 3 weeks in a row he gets clamped, but
Yeah.
know.
I mean, Marshawn Lattimore could definitely do it. though.
Yeah,
He's a pretty good
exactly.
corner.
No, Marshawn Lattimore is only good against Mike Evans. So
He's still a good corner, but that's
yeah, he's a good
Marshawn
corner. I'm
Lattimore
just-
actually
playing.
owns Mike Evans.
That is true.
Next game we're getting into is Seahawks and Lions. James, you have the Seahawks on this. What do you think?
yeah, I mean, I don't know. The game, I can just see the game going either way. Like the Lions haven't really, I mean, they've been competing in games, but like, I don't know. I think DK is bound to like have a good game. The running
Yeah.
backs haven't looked bad, but I mean, it really comes down to if Geno Smith like shows up this week.
Yeah, the Lions defense is not good. So I could definitely see those guys having a great game. I just think that the Lions offense is just better. It's
I
probably
think the
best-
Lions are just better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just overall.
I'd rather have Jared Goff than Geno Smith. So
Both bad, but
Chill. Jared Goff's him, bro.
Jared Goff is absolute booty. Next game we're getting into Jets at Steelers. So obviously Tyler has the Jets. James, you also have the Jets. So is this contingent on if Zach Wilson plays?
No,
do you
I
think
just
the Jets
don't
will?
go either way, honestly.
I think
just
even if
don't-
Joe Flacco plays, I just don't think the Steelers are that good.
Yeah, I don't think the Steelers are
I
good.
really don't.
I agree. I don't think the Steelers are that
I
good,
also agree.
but I also
do not
just
think
think the
they're good.
Jets are bad.
Yeah.
So
The
it's
Jets
worse.
I don't know. I mean, in my eyes, they're not worse, but I'm a Jets fan, so
Or
I'm gonna say that.
extremely biased Jets fan. So yeah, of course you don't think.
No, I still like think the Jets might be a better team than the Steelers
I-
this
I-
year.
Yeah, I just feel like the Jets have more talent. I don't know.
And like Trubisky like doesn't look good at all.
I feel
No,
like
he
as long as
doesn't.
If we stop Najee, I feel like we'll be
Yeah,
fine.
the Jets defense has been like pretty good. So, and the Steelers offense is like not.
Yeah,
It's
not
struggling, and
we don't have to worry about TJ Watt. So it's
Yeah.
not like
it really just comes down to like Najee if they just contain him.
Yeah, I definitely think that if they do open the offense up and they start passing the ball downfield more, they'll be able to this game. Sauce will most likely lock up Deontay Johnson the whole time. That's just going to
Deontay Johnson ran the same route like 8 times last week, and they couldn't pick up on it at all.
I don't think that this is going to be a good game. This is probably going to be another boring one.
I will not be watching this game.
don't worry. No one's watching Packers or
Oh, I won't be
Patriots.
watching that one either, bro. Relax.
Let's get back. Bears and Giants. Rupp, you're taking the Giants. We all got the Bears on this one. I think we could all agree that it could go either way.
I
Both
think
teams are bad.
I think Saquon's gonna be the difference in this one. I also think Justin Fields will probably throw like 12 passes, and it won't be enough. I'm not saying Daniel Jones is gonna look any better, but
Yeah, he won't.
I think the Giants' offense is just a little better than the Bears, and that'll be the difference.
It'll be interesting to see how that's gonna be without Sterling Shepard now. Maybe Kadarius Toney has a bigger role.
Yeah,
He
probably
hasn't,
not.
like played at all. So
They just don't want to put
if
him on the
he's-
field.
yeah, if he's back from injury this week, I think that
He's in the
kinda have
doghouse
to-
with Kendrick Bourne.
yeah, they're there together. But Kadarius Toney is like one of the most dynamic
Darius
players
Toney's
in the
a good player.
He is.
They
Like
just don't
him
put
with
him
the
on the
ball in
field.
his hands is ridiculous. He just moves in ways that I've actually never seen. Granted, Kadarius Toney hasn't done anything in the league yet, so it's kind of
Besides like a game where he had like 180 yards.
Oh yeah, that one game. Yeah,
That was like the only game
Sure.
he actually played.
yeah. This is probably going to be another disgustingly boring game. Wouldn't be
Every
surprised at
Giants
all.
game, every Bears game's like that every week.
Yeah, and now to have the two most boring teams collide.
The Patriots aren't playing.
Relax.
I also
You just
think
lost to the
the
Colts,
I
bro.
also think the Giants and Bears, like I don't know. I just think now Giants fans are on reality of their teams. Not that they're not that team. So
Yeah, they
They're
beat
not that
two
guy at all.
bad teams. So
yeah,
I was going to absolutely throw up if they. I had the Giants winning on Monday, but if they went,
I wouldn't
3-0,
have cared if
was
they
gonna be
won. I mean,
gross.
I don't care.
I don't think any. If the Giants were 3-0, I don't think anyone would look at them and be there just like, yeah, I'm scared of this team.
No, absolutely not. But Giants fans would be.
They
like
would have been
that.
3-0 and been like 15 in power rankings
Yeah,
because
They would've
everyone would
That's
know like,
strictly
yeah, they're
just
not
because of
good.
their record.
If they would have won last night, you would have had a parade in New York City. Let's just say that.
Oh, like
New
the
York
Jets
City already
parade
had
when
their
they-
parade. Yeah, their Jets had their parade last week.
You mean in New Jersey?
Yeah, New Jersey. It's not New York City. Let's get that straight. It's East Rutherford, New Jersey, is where the New Jersey
Yeah,
Giants and
but
New Jersey
it's the
Jets play.
same distance from Buffalo Stadium to Buffalo.
But it's not a different state. Your argument is invalid. Next game we're getting into is the Titans and Colts. I think I'm going to say the Titans like that every single time now, especially because the Titans end up winning that game.
Would you like me to say it?
No.
No, because you have the Colts winning this one.
Yeah.
Go ahead, talk about it.
Talk about it. The Titans suck. I mean, so do the Colts, but how you beat the Titans? You just stopped Derrick Henry. Whoop. And you won.
You are
Who's
talking
stopping
about
him?
the Colts. Yeah, exactly. Especially if like Darius, I'm not calling him Shaquille. His name's Darius. Darius Leonard if he doesn't
Shaq.
play. No.
I still think they can win. Like, I'm sorry, James. They beat the Chiefs.
Is Shaq Leonard even like
I-
playing yet?
No, he hasn't played yet.
I think they could beat the Titans.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the Titans are that great where I think that it's 100% that they're going to win. But
I think it
I
go
think the
either
King is
way,
back.
but I'm just going.
I think the King is back. He looked really good last week.
Either team can win.
Next game we got Chargers Texans. We all think Chargers are going to win. Just a
Davis
better team
Mills
overall.
isn't. Yeah.
Self-explanatory.
I mean, those injuries for the Chargers, they're kind of piling up. Maybe that'll count for something. for the
Yeah, but I mean,
Texans.
another week of rest for Herbert.
Yeah, but
Be a little more
Slater's
healthy.
gone now. That hurts.
Yeah. Who cares?
Justin Herbert and his ribs. Dude.
Yeah. I don't.
I could see the Texans actually winning still, but
Yeah.
I still have a
just-
little bit of hope in the Texans, honestly, because they're just starting to get Damian Pierce more involved, and he's running really good.
yeah.
Still got Brandon Cooks. Nico Collins is still somewhat okay. But Keenan Allen's probably going to be back, so that's huge. Next game, Browns and Falcons. Tyler, you got the Falcons. We got the Browns. I think that this could go either way, depending on if the Falcons decide to choke or not.
Why did I pick the Falcons?
I think these matchups are just so bad.
There
Yeah,
are
it's like
so many
I
bad
don't
matchups.
Just so bad.
I think the Browns' offense is finally starting to see what they need to do to win games. Just run it through Nick Chubb and pass the ball to Amari Cooper. And Kareem Hunt gets some touches here and there too. And I think, yeah, and Njoku. And I just don't think that the Falcons defense will be able to stop that. AJ Terrell has been a huge disappointment this year. He ended last year looking like a top 5 corner, maybe even better, and he has just not been good this year. Next game we're talking about is Commanders and Cowboys. I have the Commanders on this. You guys got the Cowboys.
Yeah, what's your reasoning for that?
I think that when the Commanders' offense looks good, they are good. So they're starting to get Terry a little bit more involved too. Curtis Samuel is still looking like a Debo light. But I think the Cowboys could absolutely torment Carson Wentz like the Eagles did last week. So I could definitely see the Cowboys winning.
Yeah, Wentz will probably get sacked like 10 times.
Yeah, he's going to one up his 9 sack week from last week. Micah Parsons, I will not be surprised if he actually has like 4 sacks on the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, I think the Commanders could pull this one out. I think they kind of know that they need to win these games while Dak is out to even compete in that division. So that's my reasoning. I'm not fully confident on it, but that's my reasoning.
I'm pretty sure Jerry Jones is like delusional. I'm pretty sure they like said that he came out the other day and was like, yeah, Dak's going to play this week or something like that.
No, yeah, they're saying they're. Yeah, I don't think this week. I think next.
No, I
week.
swear he said
I
there's a
about
chance Dak's playing, but like no,
because he just got his stitches out.
Yeah, and Jerry Jones is like, yeah, he's playing.
I don't think that they need to rush Dak back because Cooper Rush has looked pretty solid. He's 2-0 right now. To rush him back and risk a re-injury just doesn't make much sense to me. But it is Jerry Jones, so
idiot.
Well said. Next game, Jags and Eagles. I am not betting against the Eagles anymore, so I have them, as do Rupp and James.
I think the Eagles will win. But
yeah.
Jags aren't some pushover.
No, they're not.
Anymore.
They're good now.
So
their offense is pretty good. Their defense has been pretty solid. Devin Lloyd has been looking great.
Yeah.
Trayvon Walker looks like the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I'm not going against the Eagles until they like lose. So
you mean like the week 2 of the playoffs? Because they have the easiest schedule in the league.
Yeah, probably.
They're definitely going to
Cooper. Yeah, they're going to lose to the Cowboys. I'll call it now.
I'd say they probably split with them. Yeah, but they have just looked really good in every single aspect of the game. I can't bet against them anymore. I am kind of an Eagles believer at this point.
Yeah, I'm still not like. I mean, you can't really like. They didn't really still play anybody too great, but obviously they're a good team. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna say, I'm not sitting here like, oh yeah, I still would even say they're like a Super Bowl contender.
I think that I believe that just because the NFC looks as bad.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's just too early for me.
I'd call him a Super Bowl contender. I'd also call Jalen Hurts an MVP candidate.
Well, that makes one of us.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that.
I don't think Jalen Hurts is an MVP candidate just based off stats alone. He's just not.
I like week 8. It'll be easier to get like a real feel on the Eagles.
I like that time, yeah. And also just to see them, if they lose one game, you'll kind of get to see what because they've looked pretty good offensively and defensively. So once you can see what their soft spot is, then you kind of get to see.
The defense hasn't looked amazing.
The D-line has looked amazing.
D-line
Everything
looks
else
good, but
has not looked fantastic at times, but they're still looking solid most of the time. And like offensively, I think Jalen Hurts is probably like the future there, but he's also just kind of doing what he's supposed to be doing. There's a lot of people getting open. I haven't really seen him make anticipation throws a lot. He's not really throwing receivers open. There's a lot of tight window throws.
Yeah. Like Devontae Smith has made like crazy. People. Yeah. And AJ Brown was doing that too. So
yeah. Next game we're getting into Bills and Ravens. I'm still going to have to take my Bills with this. I think that this could definitely go the Ravens' way, depending on who's coming back from injury this week. But I still think that the Bills are the best team in football. They showed with a very depleted secondary that they could still almost get the job done.
Yeah, but now the secondary is even more depleted.
Yeah, with Benford breaking his hand and everything. But I think hopefully Poyer will be back. Trey White should be back soon. They might sign Xavier Rhodes. At the time of this recording, they didn't. So if they did, My apologies.
I hope they sign him.
I mean, it's better than Jamarcus Ingram, who is
Are you sure?
undrafted free agent from the University of Buffalo. I'm 100% sure that Xavier Rhodes is better than him. I could see the Ravens like pulling this one out. Their defense hasn't looked great, but Lamar has looked great. So
I do think the Ravens will pull it out just because of Lamar.
yeah, I wouldn't be that surprised. I'd be very upset.
I think the Bills will still pull it out, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Ravens win just because it's Lamar and the Bills defense is like banged up. But I think the Bills offense didn't look like too great last week. So I think they're going to definitely bounce back this week.
Yeah, the Bills just need to forget about Sunday. Just worry about this game. Forget about it.
I want them to remember that. Never want to feel like that again. Cards and Panthers. We all got the Cards on this one. I just think the Panthers, they're just bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're bad.
Yeah.
Panthers are actually favored.
I don't think the Saints are good. That's why they won last week.
And just the random lucky 75-yard touchdown that's happened 2 out of 3 games for Baker. So as long as you limit those big plays, I think the Cardinals defense is good enough to not let that happen. Another game that we thought was probably going to be one of the best games in the league when they're going to match up beginning of the year, Broncos and Raiders. And now looking at these two teams, this is probably going to be another terrible game.
Probably will.
Rupp has the Broncos. We all have the Raiders. I could see it going either way.
I just think the Broncos are better. Neither teams looked good at all, but I just think Broncos are just better.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders because I just think that the Broncos have been able to win those close games that they shouldn't win against terrible teams. And I think the Raiders are just better than both of those teams that they played. I think that if you get Devonta Adams a little bit more involved like he did week 1, I think the Raiders could pull this one out. I could definitely see it going either way. I think this is going to be another snooze fest, but
I hope maybe kind of figure it out. It's a little bit of a better game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a decent game.
I don't really have much hope for it.
Both teams are I guess not. The Broncos are 2-1, but the Raiders are they got to dig themselves out of this hole.
Yeah, to have
and they're due for a win.
And I just think the Raiders offense is better than the Broncos right now.
Yeah, both are not looking great, but I mean, it is a division matchup, so anything can happen in these games. They've had each other's numbers. They knew that they were going to have to meet up and prove.
I just hope both teams don't look how they have the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, which they probably will. And
they probably will. I'm sure they will, and it'll be a terrible game, but we can dream.
Next game we're getting into is the Packers and Patriots. Everybody, even Rupp, has the Packers winning.
Yeah, I don't have faith in Brian Hoyer.
I don't think anybody does.
We saw what he did last time he started.
Yeah, it didn't look pretty.
I was probably going to pick the Packers either way, but definitely with Mac out, I'm not picking the Patriots.
If Mac Jones was playing, I would have picked the Patriots. I would have done it.
But I would love to see the Patriots win just because I hate Rodgers.
I mean, you never know, honestly.
If he lost to Hoyer, that'd just be jokes.
You never know.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Patriots defense hasn't looked bad, so maybe
I just don't think they're gonna be able to score.
Yeah,
at all.
I think they'll look good defensively like they have. Last week they looked good defensively for a little over 3 quarters, but then can't really contain Lamar the whole game.
Yeah,
he's fourth quarters when he turned it on running, and he ended up with over 100 yards. Obviously, you don't have to worry about that with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the game will probably be 21-10 or something.
I think it'll be somewhat low scoring.
It'll be one Patriots running back gets a touchdown, and then that's probably it.
I think the running backs have to have a good game if they want to win.
That's the only way they could be.
That's the only way they're going to win.
Because I mean, the Packers haven't even shown they could put up a lot of points.
That's what I'm saying. I think the Patriots defense will be able to hold them to maybe 20, 21.
Yeah,
but
I hope the Patriots win stuff.
I just don't see Brian Hoyer putting up 4 touchdowns.
Getting into the Sunday night game, this should be a good matchup, but the Bucs offense hasn't looked great. But maybe with Mike Evans back, they'll be better.
Let's just hope it happens.
Yeah,
I think it'll be a good game because Bucs and Chiefs usually play a good game.
Yeah, it's usually competitive.
Goat and baby goat.
Yeah,
I don't know.
We all have the Chiefs except for Rupp. He has the Bucs.
I would I don't know. Obviously, I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
I think Bucs with a couple receivers back.
Yeah, Evans being back's huge.
Can get it done. Yes. I think we talked about before, the Bucs defense hasn't looked great, but you look at the 3 games, they haven't really given up anything. They played the Cowboys. They beat the Cowboys pretty easily. They beat the Saints pretty easily. and then they lost to the Packers, but they gave up they didn't really give up a lot, and they also gave the Packers a lot of short fields to work with all the receivers fumbling. So I don't know. I think the Bucs could just pull it out.
Yeah, the Bucs offense, even with all their weapons, hasn't shown that they're a top
No, they
offense
haven't.
right now. So that's why
I
I
feel like
just think that
if they turn the ball over like they've been doing, the Chiefs will score points.
I think they got to
do it
work
against
on
the
that.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
And the Chiefs' defense has looked pretty well.
The Chiefs' defense looked good, but
it's just they can't cover big receivers. So I think Evans is probably gonna have at least a touchdown and a decent game. But
I think if the Chiefs look like they did last week, they're gonna lose again.
I don't think they're gonna look like that though at all.
It was also
their kicker lost them the game.
It was also a weird game, but their running game is not gonna look good again. The Bucs' run defense is very good.
Yeah.
I think Clyde will do good.
I do not.
Having him catching passes out of the backfield is
that's all he did last week. He had 0 rushing yards last week.
Yeah, so I mean, if you get him the ball in that fashion, he's shown
that's what is going to have to happen.
Yeah,
I just think
ultimately that will work.
I just hope it's a good game.
I think Kelsey's gonna have a big game too.
That's what I hope for. A good primetime game.
Yeah, we haven't had a good primetime game.
We haven't at all.
I don't think we've had a good one yet.
The Chiefs Chargers was a good Thursday
that was
game.
All right. That was the only one.
It wasn't anything crazy though.
Yeah.
But it was
I enjoyed
by far the best primetime game.
But
that wasn't a good
that was
game.
good. That was a good game
your
for the
team.
first half.
Yeah, then the second was just kind of a slaughter.
Yeah, it was bad. But
I mean, at least we get to see a lot of offense in those games. I'd like to see that, even if
hopefully.
it's a very one-sided thing. As long as there's
Chiefs Bucs
offense is more entertaining than defense.
Yeah,
hopefully there's
Chiefs,
a lot of
Bucs
offense.
I think there will definitely be a few big plays that are entertaining. But that's also with the Chiefs. The play calling was also terrible last week. I like to see them Mahomes hasn't even really thrown the ball down the field.
Yeah, they haven't been airing. They should have MVS just running. Go
him and Hardman
time.
both should be at least take one or two shots.
So for the Monday night game, last game of the week, Rams and Niners. Rupp's got the Niners. We all got the Rams.
I got the Niners because the 49ers for the last couple of years have been pretty good against the Rams.
Yeah, they kind of.
It's just weird. I mean, the 49ers haven't looked good. Rams haven't looked good. I think Kyle Shanahan just kind of knows how to beat them. So I don't really have much more to say about it besides that.
This is the Rams' first away game. They're undefeated on their first away game, so I went with them.
They also were undefeated in opening day games under Sean McVay, and then they lost.
Yeah, but that was against the Bills. This is against the 49ers.
Yeah, Jimmy G's going to walk out of the back of the end zone again.
I think it'll probably just be another bad game, honestly.
Probably.
Yeah, because both offenses haven't looked great.
Yeah.
Let's stop having the same Chiefs play.
Yards.
Maybe.
Cam
Cooper Kupp
Akers
didn't do
will
much
fumble.
last week. Cam Akers fumbling is a guarantee.
Let's go over the records for last week. I went 9-7. Rupp went 9-7. James went 10-6, and Tyler went 5-11.
But that's basically what we predicted last week. So
yeah, because he was pretty much just I want to be the odd man out, and it actually worked for him on the odd dog, as Tyler says. The Panthers games, he somehow got the Panthers, which is great for you. But then you also chose the Jets. So what were you thinking? On the year, I'm 16-16. Rupp is 18-14. James is 19-13. Tyler's 12-20.
So it's only up from here, Tyler.
I'm the one seed right now.
You can't get any worse. And if you did, I'd be surprised.
If you go 0-16 on predictions one week, Tyler, that's actually
you should
impressive.
Get money.
That's actually impressive.
All right, that concludes this week's episode of the Sportorium Podcast. Thank you all for listening or watching. Till next time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.